The arena pulsed with energy, a living, breathing force of anticipation. Lights burned overhead, casting sharp shadows across the ring where destiny was about to unfold. This wasn't just another heavyweight fight. This was a collision of styles, of mindsets, of raw survival. On one side stood Vitaly Klitschko, calm, calculated, a towering figure of discipline. A man who didn't just fight to win, he fought to dominate. Every movement measured, every punch purposeful. Across from him stood Chaos. Corey Sanders, the South African sniper, a fighter known not for volume, but for something far more dangerous: precision. One left hand, one moment, one mistake, and everything could end. The bell rang. Instantly, Sanders moved. No hesitation, no fear. A lightning-fast left hand sliced through the air. Klitschko barely slipped it, but the warning had been delivered. This wasn't going to be technical chess. It was going to be survival under fire. Sanders struck again. Another left, fast and sharp, forcing Klitschko onto the back foot. The crowd erupted as the tension exploded into action. Klitschko answered with a measured right hand, trying to establish control. But Sanders wasn't there to be controlled. He waited, baited, and then countered. A clean shot landed. Not enough to drop him, but enough to shake him. For a split second, the giant looked human. The crowd gasped. The round closed with both men exchanging, but the message was clear. Sanders wasn't here to outbox Klitschko. He was here. As the second round began, the atmosphere thickened. The early danger had forced a realization. Klitschko needed to adapt, or risk everything. He came out sharper, smarter. The jab began to flow, long, stiff, controlled. One after another, keeping Sanders at distance. It wasn't just offense, it was strategy. Control the space, break the rhythm. But Sanders remained dangerous. Every time Klitschko stepped in, that left hand waited. Coiled, ready. And then he fired. A counter left snapped through again, drawing a roar from the crowd. Even now, Sanders needed only one opening, one perfect connection. But slowly, something changed. Klitschko began to settle. A right hand landed clean, then another. His confidence grew with every exchange. He wasn't reacting anymore, he was dictating. Body shots followed, heavy, digging blows that began to slow Sanders down. The sniper was still aiming, but his movement wasn't the same. By the middle rounds, the momentum had shifted. Sanders was still throwing, but now he was being pushed back, forced to defend, forced to absorb. Klitschko pressed forward, combining precision with pressure. The crowd could feel it. This was no longer a dangerous gamble. It was becoming a controlled takeover. Still, the threat never disappeared, because even now, even under pressure, Sanders carried the power to change everything in a single second. By the later rounds, the fight had transformed into something deeper, something brutal. Sanders was bleeding now, his nose telling the story of the punishment he had endured. Yet still, he stood. Still he fought, a warrior refusing to surrender. But Klitschko had taken full control. His punches came sharper now, more confident. A right hand crashed through the guard, then another, each one heavier than the last. Sanders tried to answer, but the speed was fading, the timing slipping. His punches began to miss, cutting only air. The crowd rose to its feet. They could feel the ending coming. Klitschko stepped in again. A clean right hand snapped Sanders' head back. A left followed instantly. Then another right. A relentless assault. Sanders covered up, arms tight, trying to survive, but there was no escape now. This was no longer a battle. This was the finish. Another crushing shot landed, and another. No response, no defense. The referee moved closer, watching carefully, waiting for a sign, any sign. It didn't come. And then, he stepped in. The fight was over. The arena exploded as Klitschko stood victorious, a symbol of control, patience, and dominance. Across from him, Sanders remained on his feet, but the war had taken everything. On this night, power alone wasn't enough, because in the end, discipline, endurance, and calculated brutality won the fight.